Hi guys, it's Jess. Welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I am going to be talking to you guys about some of the books that I really want to read by the end of 2020. So my TBR is massive, and I looked on Goodreads the other night and I do have about 300 books on my to read list, and yeah, I've got my work cut out. As you guys know, I have been in a bit of a reading slump, and now that I am in the mood to read again, I am gonna make it my mission to try and get through as many of the books that I have been gifted, that I have bought, that are on my Audible account, as much as possible before we get to the end of this year, because even though things have been a bit shitty, it's flying by, and yeah, I don't have much time to reach my goal of 30 books. I'm kidding, I have plenty of time, I think. Without further ado, we're going to go through this lovely pile here, and I'll try and keep it brief. So the first two books that I wanted to mention are Sharp Objects and Dark Places by Gillian Flynn, and you all know that Gone Girl is probably my favourite thriller of all time as it stands. I really enjoyed that when I read it, and I think I have such a soft spot for it because I read it when I was in second year of uni, and it was a very difficult time for me, and I just remember that book being a wonderful distraction, and I read it in such a short space of time, and I just thought it was amazing. I really liked Gillian Flynn's writing, and I really liked the plot twists. Yeah, so I've been wanting to read more of her stuff for some time, and I bought these books last year. I think there is a video where I do mention these books on my channel somewhere. I just really want to get to these before the end of the year because I love thrillers and they both sound really exciting. This one is about a woman called Camille Preaker. I believe she's a detective, and she's sent to investigate the disappearance of two little girls. And it says here she finds herself reluctantly installed in the family mansion, reacquainting herself with her distant mother and a precious 13-year-old half-sister she barely knows. Haunted by a family tragedy, troubled by the disquieting grip her young sister has on the town, Camille struggles with a familiar need to be accepted, but as clues turn into dead ends, Camille finds herself identifying with the young victims and realises she will have to unravel the puzzle of her own past if she's to survive this homecoming. So that sounds very interesting to me. I love the whole kind of domestic thriller aspect to it. I love it when detectives' family, personal lives get wrapped up in the investigations that they're taking part in. And then Dark Places focuses on this girl called Libby Day, who was 7 years old when she gave evidence that put her 15-year-old brother behind bars. Since then, she has been drifting, but when she is contacted by a group who are convinced of Ben's innocence, Libby starts to ask questions she never dared to before. Was the voice she heard her brother's? Ben was a misfit in their small town, but was he capable of murder? Are there secrets to uncover at the family farm, or is Libby deluding herself because she wants her brother back? Again, sounds really interesting, and definitely hoping to get to both of these very soon. Bram Stoker Horror Stories. I bought this book when I was on holiday in Yorkshire last year, and we went to Whitby Abbey, which was incredible, and you know that I love Dracula. I keep mentioning it. I'm never going to shut up about it. I'm not sorry. This is just an anthology of more of Bram Stoker's work. So it's got extracts from Dracula in here, which I probably won't read because I've read Dracula that many times. I know it off by heart, maybe. That's a bold statement. Don't test me on it. But yeah, it's just got other bits of his work in there, other things like short stories and extracts from other stuff that he's written, and I've wanted to get into this for some time, and I did want to read it for Halloween last year, but because of time I never got around to it, so I would like to read this around Halloween time this year. It's quite a chunky book, but because it's an anthology, I feel like it's something that I could just pick up every now and then. I could just read a couple of stories and then put it down and go back to it. Yeah, I'm very, very excited. It's such a gorgeous book as well. I love the cover. I love that it's shiny. I love shiny books. I'm such a magpie. I love the end pages as well, and yeah, this has some good reviews online as well, so very eager to delve into this. Sticking with the horror story and vampire theme, of course I am. The Beautiful by Renee Edahay. I don't know how to say her name, I'm really sorry. If you guys know the proper pronunciation, please let me know. Renee Edahay, I believe. Anyway, my boyfriend gifted me this for Christmas, and it's a book that's been on my radar for some time. When I knew that it was coming out, it was straight on my TBR. This book is all about vampires, and it follows a girl called Celine, and she's 17. Oh, that rhymed. And she's fleeing her life from Paris, and she moves to New Orleans, and she gets involved in the kind of dark underworld. She gets involved in the dark underworld of the city, and there's vampires and other supernatural things. And I love New Orleans as a setting. I love that New Orleans is quite a common theme in vampire literature, and there's something so magical about that place and something so inspiring that makes me just really, really excited to read this. And yeah, there's like a whole murder mystery thing going on in this as well, which sounds kind of fun, so definitely planning to get to this. Again, it might be another book that I save for Halloween time, but I would like to read it before then if I get time, but we will see where my mood takes me. If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. This is a book that I have seen floating about on BookTube for a while, and everybody that has read it has really enjoyed it, as far as I know. It sounds very, very intriguing. Again, I believe it's a murder mystery. Let me just check. Yeah, it's a murder mystery. I'm going to read the back because I feel like my summaries are not that good, especially when I've never read it, so here we go. Oliver Marks has just served 10 years for a murder he may or may not have committed. On the day of his release, he is greeted by the detective who put him in prison. Detective Colborn is retiring, and he wants to know what really happened a decade before. As a young actor at an elite conservatory, Oliver noticed that his talented classmates seemed to play the same characters on stage and off, villain, hero, temptress, though he was always a supporting role. But when the teachers changed the casting, a good-natured rivalry turns ugly, and the play spilled dangerously over into real life. When tragedy strikes, one of the 7 friends is found dead. The rest face their greatest acting challenge yet, convincing the police and themselves that they are blameless. So, yeah, sounds very good. I believe this is a Macbeth retelling, or not a retelling, but it's based around Macbeth, or is it Hamlet? No, I think it's Macbeth. And it kind of reminded me of something that I watched. What did I watch? I don't know, it reminded me of something that I watched where somebody got killed in a play or got stabbed, or it might have been something that I read. It must have been it was either something that I watched or I read about an actor who got accidentally stabbed in a play, and I don't know, I can't remember if they died. I don't think they did, but it just reminded me of that for some reason. I might be totally off the mark, but anyway, sounds super intriguing. Definitely think I will enjoy this. And again, I might save it for Halloween time. I might read it before then. I don't know, we'll see. But very promising. The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, or Michaelides, again with these unique writers' names. I'm sorry if I've pronounced that wrong. I remember when this book came out and there was a lot of hype about it, and just going by the title, it sounds like something I would like to read. I love titles that are a bit ominous and a bit spooky, and knowing a little bit about this does have me intrigued. I know that it's written from two perspectives. I believe it's written from the doctor's point of view and the patient's point of view. It is about a woman who shot her husband in the head, and ever since then she hasn't spoken a single word, and doesn't really give much more of a synopsis than that. But I believe she is referred to this mental asylum, this hospital, and this doctor who is treating her is trying to, like, I don't know, unravel why she shot her husband, basically. I don't really know much more of it than that. I tend to try and stay away from spoilery reviews, and I like vague synopsis because, you know, it's more exciting when I get into the book and I find out more about the story. So that's all you're going to get from me for now, but check it out on Goodreads if you want to know more. But I'm so bad at this, I'm really sorry. Another book that I have been very keen to read for some time is The Prison Doctor by Dr. Amanda Brown, and this is a memoir all about her time working in some of the UK's most infamous prisons and treating a variety of patients who have committed a variety of crimes. And it sounds super fascinating to me. I love anything to do with true crime. I have this kind of weird fascination with serial killers and why they do what they do, and I also love reading about the medical profession and what it's like to be a doctor, and this is a very different perspective. I've read books about doctors in the NHS, in hospitals, in surgeries, but this is something that's going to be a very fascinating read. It's something very different, and I've heard a lot of really good stuff about this, and yeah, it's something that I really can't wait to get into. The Passengers by John Mars. This is another book that I have heard such amazing reviews about, and it only came out last year, so it's very, very recent, and it just sounds so fucking cool, honestly. Like, even my summary of this would not do the actual summary justice because it just sounds so incredibly intense, and that is everything I want in a thriller. It's all about cars, and there are these 8 drivers who get targeted by a hacker, and I believe they kind of hack into the car's mechanisms, and the car, you know, seemingly just does what it wants. And if the authorities, if the police get involved in trying to save these people and stop the hacker, then the cars will just explode and kill everyone. And it sounds super, super intense, and that's all I really know about it. Other than that, everybody that I have seen who have read this have loved it. And yeah, I got this for my birthday. My boyfriend's mum bought me this, so I've not had it that long, and I definitely would like to read this in the next few weeks because it just sounds so good. The last book on this list is a book that I have been aware of for some time again, and that is Jacobi by William Ritter. This is a young adult mystery, and The premise just sounds so magical and so much fun, and again, this is another book that I would like to read around autumn Halloween time because it just gives me all of the vibes. This book is all about a girl called Abigail Rook, who is hired by an investigator who goes by the name of R.F. Jacobi, and he investigates the unexplained, and he also has the ability to see supernatural beings. So I am expecting a lot of ghosts, I'm expecting vampires, I'm expecting witches, I'm expecting werewolves, I'm expecting everything. But yeah, this is a mystery, so there is a murder that they have to investigate, and is it human? Is it some otherworldly creature? We don't know, but we're gonna have to read it to find out. This is the first book in a series, and the others are called Beastly Bones, Ghostly Echoes, and The Dire King, which sound amazing. Again, this was a book that was gifted to me for my birthday by my boyfriend's mum, and I actually have a very funny story about this book because when my boyfriend sent the link to his mum for the book, she actually bought it in German. So when I opened it and I was reading it, I was like, this is not right, this is not in English, and it turned out she'd bought a German copy. So we had to send it back, and I managed to get the English copy. But you know, I was up for the challenge. I thought, you know, maybe I could learn German. I could put it into Google Translate and see how I get on, but I don't know if I was completely committed to making that much of an effort. But anyway, that was a little anecdote that you did not need to know. Alright, so that was a list of all the books that I really want to read before the end of this year. I do have some more that I would like to get to, but I feel like this video would be 2 hours long if I added them. So I'll probably do another video in another couple of months about all the other books that I really want to read because there are so many. Anyway, please let me know if you've read any of these books and leave a comment giving me a little bit of a review, what you thought of them. Is it worth it? Is it not? I would love to know. Also, again, I always say this, but book recommendations is always appreciated. And, you know, let's try and get my TBR up to 1,000. Why not? Go big or go home. As always, if you like this video, give it a cheeky thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Instagram. I'll put all the links in the description down below for you guys. Have a lovely day, and I will see you all in another video very soon. Bye guys!